and welcome to Dan and Ian Have Questions. Are you interested in people's unique hobbies, passions, and how it all gets started? Well, you're in the right place. These two, like many of you, know a little bit about a lot and always have questions. Let's sit back, relax, and enjoy as they find out what makes everyone so interesting. This is the Dan and Ian Have Questions podcast.
We're just going to be talking about.
I just wanted to interrogate all you collectors on why you collect and why you collect so much and what the fuck, why collect.
Yeah.
So that was basically like, that's what I said. This is intervention / indictment. Why are you collecting, you collectors? No, but I really kind of just wanted to know, like, the fuel that fires you still getting these things, because I see a lot of things and I don't get them. And I always wish I did, but I'm like, I am not stuck in the groove as some of my friends are with, like, this came out, I pre-ordered this, So that was basically my thing, was like basically coming into this as why do you collect and what makes you keep collecting? Right. That's pretty much the big question. And then that was pretty much it.
Well, we could start with why don't we start with Dale? Dale, do you want to go ahead and answer that question, especially how impressive the collection that you have,
Do you want to do a proper intro, Dan?
So fuck that. Forget it.
No.
Okay,
fuck it. All right.
I don't give a shit. Just go. No, but Dale, for reals. I mean, for me personally, it's like what the heck was that?
That was my phone. I'm going to turn the Bluetooth down.
Okay. All right.
That was my son texting me back about the link. He said, why is there so much? Because it's a Zoom link and it's
an invite,
a page long.
Yeah, exactly. But I know it for me personally, it's like it almost is like, like what you hear about koi fish. Koi fish will only grow to the size of like their environment. And I knew for sure, like when I was like living in an apartment, I didn't have anything really because I had no room for it. But once I got the house, when we moved into our house, it exploded into like a million pieces and there's like a whole room that's taken over. So I'm kind of curious to see, Dale, for you, how did it come about? And what makes you continue on? Is it like you got to have that figure, or is it to like, are you a completist on certain things, or what is it exactly?
And I will say real quick, like, everybody can go back and listen. Dale's been on here. We've already chastised him about not chastised. That sounds like we're like, stop it. No, we were inquisitors in the
we interrogated him.
Yeah. We interrogated him in this process. It was enhanced. It was through the camera. We weren't able to put a rag over his face, but he told us everything at the time. So if you go check out, I think it was like episode freaking 4 or something that we put out. Dale's right there. He's on YouTube. So please go check it out.
Right. So I'll try to bring up some points different from that first interview, because I think last year I touched more on, a lot of it is sense of nostalgia. Yeah. Getting things that you couldn't have as a kid or that make you feel like you're a kid again. And then as a parent, also something that you can collect that is a common interest and help you bond with your kid as well. But those interests, those collecting interests, always change. So, I've spent decades in, building up a action figure collection, but honestly, the last year or two, there's a lot of other things I've gotten into, and that'll just be in my head for a little while, and you just kind of keep digging further and further into a hobby, and you end up having too many hobbies and collecting too many things. I guess.
Too many. I love that every time we talk to Dale, I'm like, you're just showing 1/17 of the room around you. Like, you could pick a different angle every Zoom call, and we would all be immediately impressed. I think Dale's got the best displayed, and maybe the most, what would it be? Eclectic group of collections that you have as far as
but it's well displayed though.
Yeah. So you got anything from Lord of the Rings, Willow, to TMNT, to Star Wars, to He-Man or Masters of the Universe. Like you're all over the place, man. Like is there one thing? I know He-Man's still producing stuff. Masters of the Universe still has the things coming out because of the Netflix series and whatnot. Is there one thing that you're like still constantly on the search for?
It really goes in and out because the Masters of the Universe is really having a resurgence right now as far as merchandise goes. I mean,
they got all kinds of stuff, even to those little tiny blind boxes to the $40 action figure packages.
Yeah. Mattel has been putting out like kind of a retro line the last 2 years. And the license has been expanded to other companies doing like Mondo 12-inch figures and different statues and things. And it's interesting because you used to be able to get every single thing for that property that came out. And now it's like Star Wars where you really have to pick and choose, limit your focus because your budget, your wallet has limits, I guess.
Yeah. Is it really that varied nowadays that like you have to limit yourself? I figured as a surface He-Man observer, because I haven't paid attention until you guys all came into my life, and I'm out at the store like, oh, there's a battle cat, and it's like, no, we already got that.
Well, I mean, you can only go by your limit though. Yeah, you can only go by your limit of your budget, man. It's like there's some things that you really kind of have to like, all right, got to pump the brakes on this.
But they're constantly producing this stuff still. Is there new stuff like out like weekly or something? Like you're like, holy crap, I can't believe they're putting the pedal to the metal on this master.
I'd say at least monthly. There's already dozens of figures announced for next year. And right now Mattel is doing a crowdsource for the Eternia playset, which they're not going to deliver until spring of 24.
I saw that. I saw just a little thumbnail. I didn't click on the video. I was at work, but it was like Snake Mountain. Is that the place?
Well, they just announced Snake Mountain is going to be at retail like a year from now. Yeah. But the Eternia playset is only going to be through the crowdsource. So right now they've got somewhere around 8,000 people have committed to putting down their $600 or more.
So they're almost doing like a HasLab type situation.
Yeah, it's just like HasLab, except it met its goal. The minimum it met in 6 days, but now there was a figure that you could only get if you pledged the first 7 days, and now that that's passed, it's really slowed down. So there's still some more tiers that it has to hit as far as unlocking little bonus figures and whatnot.
Is there something that you think is holding it up? Is there like a fan favorite for this that's like, I need to see blank before I invest in this? Is there like
no? And honestly, those little add-ons are kind of unnecessary for this item because they're trying to just replicate the playset that came out in limited quantity in 1987, which most people didn't get as a kid because it was $100 toy. Yeah. So, the parent was like, are you even still into this line? It came out, at the very end of that line.
Yeah. It's like my son, who will be hearing from here in a little bit, hopefully. Yeah. But many things I'm like, really? Do we need that right now? But it's one of those things that he'll look back and be like, my dad didn't fucking give me the like, get so mad about it. And I'll be like, I didn't know this Pokemon set of 3 action figures was going to be worth $1,000. So it's still happening now. But like, Dan, you had that crazy ass G.I. Joe set, that space station, whatever it was. We talked about it last year with Christmas. Like that thing had to have cost like, I forget what you said at the time. That had to have been like $150, man. Maybe not, Dan.
It probably was.
Oh, there he is.
Yep.
It's like weird thing going on here. I don't understand, but
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's just it's one of those things where when you were younger, it didn't really make sense to hold on to it because you were a kid,
Yeah.
and you did what it was used for. It was used to be played with. It was to be like demolished. Sometimes it was this and that and the other thing. I can't really imagine back then thinking in my little head of mine saying like, oh well, I got to hold on to this until I'm older because it's going to be
Yeah,
worth
exactly.
such and such. Like the whole collection thing has exploded. Like I don't know what would you say, Dale? Probably in the last
In the 90s. I would say it started in like the mid 90s to it really ramped up in like the 2010s.
I mean, because I remember like McFarlane, that those toys when those came out, those were really
Yeah,
considered.
that was like 97, 98.
Those weren't really considered like really action figures. Those were like really just something that you would display and
They're
have up
statues.
on
Now,
yeah.
our friend Andy, who I'll go to, yeah, those were more like the hot toys, the
Right.
the
A gentle giant
sideshow,
and all that.
yeah,
Yeah.
gentle giant sideshow type things is what the Spawn McFarlane toys were trying to do. And we have Andy on here. You can go back and listen to him. I think it was Serve and Collect
Yeah.
was the name I put on there for Serve and Protect. But
Very cliche.
what's up, Andy?
Yeah.
How's it going, guys?
Yeah. So you're a big collector of all things Mandalorian, not the Mandalorian, but Mandalorians. You got Boba Fett, you got the Mandalorian, Din Djarin, and all the oeuvre. Oh wait, Dan went faded there. Oh, he's got the armor on still. Yes.
Yeah, it's my costume, my Halloween costume.
So back in the day with like he was saying, like McFarlane, they were putting these things out as like premiums or wait, oh my God, I'm paying $30 for a figure. So nowadays you basically just collect a couple you're more into the statue stuff, right?
I am because my dad is a big collector too. My dad collects. He's a huge Batman fan, so he's got a ton of Batman sideshow pieces and Iron Studios, and that's where I get it from. But my focus is Star Wars. That's what I grew up on.
Right.
That's my biggest love, and the Mandos. Those are my. Every time I see something of Mando, I gotta have it. I gotta control myself, but.
Right. Is there something, because we interviewed you and you were in the military. I mean, you're always in the military. You're a police officer. Is there something to the Mandalorians that connects with that universe as far as like, this is the way, I don't know. Is there something that connects in your mind with being a patriot, protecting us in the army and going into the police services? There's something with the Mandalorians that connects with you in that kind of way,
like by the law.
Yeah, well, not by the law, just being soldiers, which are Mandalorians are. It's and the clones too. I mean, I like the troopers and everything like that. It's what's their saying? Good soldiers follow orders.
Yeah, good soldiers follow orders. Well, let's not say that completely.
Because we know what happened there.
A good soldier who follows good orders.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Okay, we're blurring out his face. No.
Yeah, I guess that's what draws me into them. Is it's just I can relate to them, I guess, in a way. Right. Because they're soldiers and so it's to me it's the armor. That helmet is what draws me to them. It's I don't know. I don't have any words to express on it. But
no, and I think that's a lot of folks. I mean, we need to get like Sean on here to explain what the Mando mercs and stuff, or
no, that's true.
Yeah, to explain like exactly what it is. It's flipping cool. It's a cool costume. It has been established since 1979 or 78 when they had the prototypes coming out and all that stuff, and you see them walking in the fair and you're like, who is this guy? And it was all of about 13 minutes of screen time dialogue between the two films, but it's so crazy how it has just expanded into this great giant vacuum of just like a new lane of fandom is Mandalorians. And it feels like people latched onto that as folks that have never watched Star Wars before and watched The Mandalorian and was like, that just looks cool. I love the story. I love everything. That just looks badass. You know, the costume and stuff. So it seems like a lot of people latched on to, you know, just the aesthetics of the Mandalorians, which is cool. Like you said, they got the helmet, they got the armor. You got Jon Favreau, not Jon Favreau, but voiced by Jon Favreau. Who's the big one in the Mandalorian? I can't remember.
Well,
I'm raising my
Pre-Vizsla?
shoulders.
Paz Vizsla.
Oh, is
Oh,
it
Paz,
Pre-Vizsla?
Paz. No, Paz is the big. Yeah.
Paz Vizsla. Pre-Vizsla was the ancestor.
Yeah.
But didn't he do the voice for Pre-Vizsla? Or
Yes.
So he did both. Yeah,
he double dipped on that one. He had a UFC fighter in the Mandalorian fill in the suit, and then he still did the voice. Like, we are the Mandalorians, the warrior ways.
Well, now I want to go now asking Andy, you know, and obviously we got two extremes of the spectrum here. You know, we have Andy who's very specifically about like the
he's
Mandalorian,
very reserved.
You know, and then you have Dale who, like we said, has a very eclectic collection. It spans
huge.
like it spans all different genres that come out, but it's just like have you thought about, like, when you started collecting, were you just like, okay, I'm just going to concentrate on this, I'm going to stay in my lane and stick to the Mandalorian? Or were you like, well, you know, maybe later on I'm going to expand out? Or have you started thinking of actually expanding out?
Well, my main focus is the Mandalorians. I have other pieces besides the Mandos.
Mm-hmm. But it's not as extensive as.
No, it's a lot of mostly the original trilogy characters. Right. If I could collect everything, I would.
Yeah.
Obviously, I can't. I have a wife that doesn't let me, and financially, it gets in the way.
Well,
but I took the advice of, and I never heard it like that, is from Chris, when he said, you know, just focus on one thing, and if that's what you like, that's what you collect.
Yeah.
And I never thought about that, and I took that to heart, and I said, you know what, that's what I like. I don't care if I have 10 million Boba Fett's.
Right.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing I go for, is like, I see so many cool figures between all of you guys on the chat that we're in. It's constantly a rolling, you know, it's a Rolodex of like what figures are coming out, what pre-orders are going, and I cannot keep up with that. I mean, sadly, because, like, you know, I am not set up financially at the situation. I want everything, but I can't, you know, get the pre-orders and all that kind of stuff. So I was more like, when these pre-orders come around, because it seems like it's a never-ending line of stuff now in some form or fashion. Right. It may not be, you know, centered around that specific show that's on at the time, which it should be. It should be centered around the movie, the show, whatever's going on at the time. You should be getting that stuff. But it seems like it's just a never-ending flow of, this is coming out, this is going on pre-sale, this is, you know, get this at GameStop. Like the George Lucas figure, I couldn't find it near me. I was so mad. Brian posted that. I was like, $12? What? And I'm looking, and it's like everywhere within like 50 miles. I was scrolling through, and it was like, no, you don't get it. So I don't know how you guys deal with the constant coming out of figures and the constant not getting the figures and the maybe loss of, like, is it like gambling? Like, I got to get that thing. Like, I don't know. I don't know if my question's clear or not, but why do you keep going, I guess, with all the stuff that's coming out? That's my biggest question.
Yeah. I think really what it is that, especially for me personally, it's like, is this a figure that I really want? Am I willing to spend the money, and am I going to enjoy having it? You know, because like there's a lot, because I specifically collect Black Series figures, and there are so many Black Series figures that I can't collect them all, and there's some that I just don't. I don't collect any of the prequel era at all. Like, I have none at all. So it's like very OT.
You don't have any prequel figs?
No, it's a lot of OT. It's a lot of OT stuff.
You heard it here first. Dan hates the prequels. Yeah, send him all your hate mail at danjacobitz at ihatestarwars.com.
I think it's just like, you know, obviously the OT is my trilogy. You know, so it's like I grew up with all that stuff. So obviously, I mean, mostly concentrating on that stuff.
I'll make everybody here except Andy feel old. I mean, I was born in '87, so the prequels were my like.
I was born in '88.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, yeah. Oh, see, we're on the same team. You guys can old guys screw up, but no. It was like the special editions were my. I like got to see those. Luckily I got to see Star Wars on the big screen in the form of the special editions.
Right.
And then the prequels came shortly thereafter, and that's all I was glued into. I have so many, and they're still packed away. Tyler's like, please sell them to me. No, I think he's got all of them except like a crazy mace, which nobody's made, so he's gonna have to make a custom figure. But yeah, I went full hog as a kid asking for the prequel figs when they were coming out. I had the comlink, or I don't know what they called it, the transmitter. I still have it in the box somewhere, and I have a keychain that I made with all of the action figures. So I have like this choker chain looking thing with all of the cards on there. So I probably have like 20 or 30 cards, and I don't have the figures. I have more of the speak and spell cards than I do actual figures from the prequels. But that was my collecting days, was well, not even collecting, just asking for toys, you know, those days.
Now, what about you, Andy? We'll start with Andy, and then I want to go to Dale. But like for pre-orders and everything like that, I know you have to be even more selective because of how much room that you actually have.
Yeah.
You know, what do you like? What's your plan about things like that?
I just keep an eye on what Sideshow does.
Okay.
Sideshow, I focused more now on Sideshow and the hot toys because it's.
Yeah, you put out a good APB on those. It was like $85 or $89 for those Sideshow or Gentle Giant, I think, or maybe a Sideshow. Those busts, the Mandalorian figures. It was awesome.
Yeah, the what they've been making lately, they just keep getting better and better, man. The detail in them, just the accessories that come with it, you could just you can pose them however you want. And the detail on the little weapons and everything. Like I have the Boba Fett Mythos hot toys, and it's got overwhelmingly amount of accessories. It's got little mini lightsaber hilts that he's collected over the years.
Wait, who was this? Who's collecting the lightsaber?
It's part of the Boba Fett, the Mythos line.
Oh,
so on the back of his belt, he's got.
Oh, so it was hilts. Boba Fett as the Jedi hunter. Okay, yeah, so is this one of those what is it, infinities? What were they calling them?
Oh, yeah, infinities. Yeah, those are the what ifs.
Yeah, what ifs. Is that what this was from?
I don't know. What
it's got the Boba Fett with the little bunny ears on his helmet.
Oh, he's got like the Rex, the actual Rex spikes coming out.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not familiar with those ones.
So I just focus. I'm on the website constantly. I have one coming in this week. It's Bo-Katan Iron Studios, but I had to pull the trigger on it because I had about $60 of credits on Sideshow, so I ended up getting it for like $80. I'm like, damn, it's pretty cheap for a Sideshow piece. It's a smaller statue, but the Sideshow ones. The good thing with Sideshow is you can do the flex payments. So you don't have to throw down the.
Oh yeah, I think Barry's always about that. I think PayPal started doing that where it was like four or five payments.
Amazon is doing it now too, so that's another.
Oh really?
Yeah,
once one starts, they're like, no, don't leave our platform.
I know we're all gonna do it
too.
So it's beneficial. I mean, it's one thing is paying $50 a month for 4 months rather than dropping the 300 at once.
Yeah,
exactly. I can live with that. I can afford that, and most of these Sideshow pre-orders, they take a year to come out.
Yeah,
so all the pre-orders now are not till the end of next year, so I got plenty of time to save up for it and start paying for it.
Yeah,
the Sideshow, I have a wide range. I like to go to eBay a lot too. Sometimes on eBay you can find cheap things, so I've got a bunch of stuff on eBay. One of the first statues I got was on eBay. That was a Gentle Giant Boba Fett. That I got it for $100, and it was one that I had been searching for years. And there's a Vader I have back here too. The same thing. I got it for like 120, and those usually go for 300 right now.
Now, because you're limited on space, do you remove one figure and box it up and put up a new one, or do you have now? At least you have it. As of right now, you have space.
I still have some space. My wife says I don't, but I can make space.
Right.
I was in the army. I can fill a back for 5 days in a small backpack, so I can fit it. It's just a matter of rearranging stuff and
Right.
putting it in. But once I fill up that wall and that space, obviously I have to stop.
Right.
But it's not gonna. My collecting's not gonna stop once I get a bigger house and a bigger room.
Right.
Then I'll start my collection back up again. But the good thing with the sideshow, the hot toys, is they don't take up that much space because they have a small base, so they're longer than they are wider.
Right.
So you can fit a good amount of stuff in there.
Now, now we're going to go to Dale, and now the complete opposite. So, what is your philosophy on pre-orders? And obviously, you obviously have a bigger area to display, and so do you rearrange your figures once you get something new? Oh, there's Chewy.
Oh, what's up, buddy? What's up? It's a good boy.
Sorry. All right, go ahead, Dale. I'm sorry.
Occasionally, I'll make room, like a dedicated space, before when I know something is shipping soon, or if I know it's going to ship in the next 30 days. I'm like, oh, sweet! I'm been waiting for that. I'm going to make sure that there's room for it when it comes in, because it seems like there's some things where if the pre-order is pretty far out, my desire for that piece may have waned before it ships. So, right. Like just recently, there Mattel's figures that were San Diego exclusive this year, some Masters Universe figures. By the time I got it and took a look at it, I was like, well, I really was into that 2 months ago, but maybe not as much now for the price. But maybe somebody else will be able to pay me, what I've got into it, and then some, I guess. So
right.
And I mean, Andy brought up using eBay. There's a lot of times, like if it's a quick sellout on something where I kind of set in my mind, okay, that was a good price, I was willing to pay that, but it sold out. If I can ever find it on eBay for that same price, then I'm down.
Right. But very rarely do you ever see anything like.
Right. It's just good timing, I guess. Like today, I got a notification in a Ninja Turtles group that I'm in that this third-party turtle van was like 1/3 off on the certain website today, and like 8 minutes later, it was sold out. And I'm like, oh, well, that would have been a great deal, but I want a turtle van that's got headlights. But nope, it was gone by the time I saw it. So it wasn't meant to be.
Right.
Well, someone like you, Dale, like I said, you have, like in this video, you're just showing 1/18 of the shelving that you have and the space that you have. When do you call it quits on certain lines? Is it just when they're completed? Because something like Star Wars goes on indefinitely in some sort of way, but like something like Lord of the Rings or Willow, there's almost or Lord of the Rings, if you go for actual movie release figures, like that kind of thing, like there's an end to it. They stop producing them at a certain point. When do you stop, Dale? Like with collecting, because that's my biggest point is like, I only have this little apartment right now, and I got some things on the wall. I got like I think we got Reva up there now. We got Grief Karga. I got some vintage figs, like some things I think are cool. But when it comes to completing the set, there's things that I'll be like, meh, I'm good. So when do you say I'm good?
It really just depends on the line, I guess. Like the Toy Biz Lord of the Rings line, that's one where my goal was to get everything loose. So being a loose collector means you can fit more on the shelf than keeping everything on card or in box, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's the other factor is carded versus loose. Like
yeah.
I buy stuff basically because it looks cool on the card because they do vintage things or they do something with, I like the stuff where they do something different. It's not just the person with the card. It's usually something, weird about the figure being a vintage figure or the card back being a concept art type thing with when it comes to Mandalorian with the I think it was Beskar, the Beskar figures, like things like that. I latch on to the weird stuff, like that's where I'm like, I need that.
Yeah, this was one where I tried to get all of one of every figure and then extras for army building. So once my armies got so big to fill the space I gave for it, then it's like, well, I'm gonna stop collecting that now. And with Star Wars, I was kind of the same way. I don't really collect a lot of new Star Wars figures anymore. Like nothing from the sequels or even the Disney Plus series. I'm not buying those figures.
I will say the sequels got me back into it, where it was, oh my God, we have these characters. The Captain Phasma. What is he about at the time? We didn't know. What is she about? Those kinds of things where it was like, oh my God, I need to get every last figure. I was going to most of them I bought was at like CVS or Rite Aid, weirdly. So I would get like Poe and Finn and, all these figures that weren't available anywhere else. I would go to like the weird spots, like a pharmacy, and they would be right there. And I'd be like, thank you. I'll use my CVS points. All right. I paid $5 for 4 figures. That's awesome.
Yeah. But that comes up an interesting question about
Dan,
individuals. Obviously, you're yep. Yes.
Oh, okay, sorry. You were sounding like a robot drunk for a second.
Okay. Sorry. I was curious to see. Obviously, I can see in the background that a lot of you guys are open box collectors.
Yeah.
What like so is your philosophy is like a figure is meant to be outside the box, or are you mostly just looks like Campbell is coming in?
No, keep going.
Oh, okay. Or do you keep some of your figures inside in the box itself because of like the value that you give towards certain figures, or the what a lot of collectors give that item of value?
Andy, you want to go?
No, go ahead, Dan.
All right. Yeah, I'd say 99% is open boxes because while like it's a cool presentation for on the card, because that's can remind you of going into the toy store as a kid, or back in the days when even Target and Walmart had full pegs and a full aisle of the stuff you wanted to see.
Yeah.
Too many options than your mom gave you money for. Like for me, part of action figure collecting is making them is them being posable and using that articulation that's manufactured into that product now. And because I feel like it really is differentiated from just collecting art. Yes, right. the figure on the card or in the bubble is art, but if you let it out, it can be very specific to you, and you've got it posed just the way you want it. It's not the same like that somebody else would have it on their shelf or in their display. It's unique to you.
Yeah, because
if you free it from the box.
Well, I mean, especially when it comes to like the hot toys and things like that, what you collect, Andy. Yeah. The boxes, there's just the box, man. But the whole point of those figures is you got to let those puppies out, because they're like the the articulation, the sculpture on a lot of these, it's just like off the hook, and you have to display those in that way. Obviously that just goes without question for you in particular of like what you collect. I can't imagine just leaving those things in a box.
No, you can't. If you're a collector of hot toys and you have that in a box displayed, something's wrong with you.
You're right.
Because you obviously you keep the box because the box is what the value is higher when you have the box with the figure.
Right.
If you're gonna sell it, if you're gonna turn it in, sell it to a comic book store. But the hot toys, it's like Dale says, it's just a bigger version of an action figure, and you can pose it and recreate that favorite scene that your character, your action figure is from. And that's the cool part of it. I have some vintage collection stuff and some that I have on the wall carded. Black Series, I open them all day. I can, because I pose them. I have one of my shelves all Mandalorians, and they're all posed
right.
It looks like a team. So that's the cool part. And now you can go on Etsy and buy dioramas and put these action figures in and make a whole set and whole scene. So that's the cool part of it. Toys are meant to be opened and played with.
That's true. But for like the hot toys, for example, does the value go down if you open it? Like unlike other figures that you have, like Black Series or whatever, it doesn't go down. Does it go higher? Does it get higher when you do that?
It's hot toys remember, they only make a limited number of each figure. Right. So the value is already double the price from what you bought it.
Gotcha.
Especially if around when Boba Fett came out, anything Boba Fett on eBay was through the roof.
Right.
When Obi-Wan came out, same thing. So it all depends on what's on at that moment. But anything Star Wars, as far as Gentle Giant, Sideshow, Iron Studios, it's all going to be, the value is all going to be high, especially with the higher end collectibles.
Now we're talking about, and Dale, you were talking about this, about communities and how you were part of like the Masters of the Universe community, and you were just talking about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm kind of curious to see like what is the percentage of toy makers listening to the fan base and making certain figures? Because that seems to be the gripe for a lot of Hasbro stuff, is that like they're tone deaf. They're releasing these things thinking that the fans will enjoy it, and then only to have them like fail miserably out in the market. So I'm kind of curious to see, like,
I invested so hard into these Xena Warrior Princess figures, and for some reason they did not hit like I thought they would.
And also third party as well. I'm curious to see, like, does the mainline company, do they listen to the fans, or is it a third party license that actually builds a lot of the things that people will gravitate towards? Oh, did we lose Dale?
No, everybody's here. Oh, maybe.
Oh, we lost Dale.
Well, I mean, I'll
can you hear me?
I'm not.
Now we can.
I'll let Dale go. If you're still with us.
Okay. Yeah, you were sounding choppy, but I didn't know if it was you or me.
Call him in. Oh, we lost.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Wow, no.
He dropped. All right,
gone.
hopefully he hits the link.
Well, for me,
He's like, I hit my limit.
I'm not into as many groups as Dale is. I mean, the only one I'm in is on Facebook. I think I invited a couple of you guys. Is the
I'm in that one.
Yep. Let Your Side Geek show, and I feel I'm fairly new to sideshow collecting, but I feel like they have a lot of events and YouTube shows and things that they put out that they get fan feedback. So I feel like Sideshow does a good job with that. So.
So what about you, Dale?
Is he there? I can't tell if he's frozen. Dale, are you still there?
Wow, we're having issues with Dale. I think he really does have a hard.
It's you guys in the basement. Andy and I are fine. It's you guys hiding out in the basement in your toy pits and your whatever.
I gotta invest in a repeater so the signal is stronger down here.
I have that upstairs and it doesn't work.
Oh, Andy, are you in the basement? Florida doesn't have basements.
Yeah, basements doesn't.
I'd be swimming in the water if I had a basement.
I was gonna say,
exactly.
I'm like, we don't have basements. That's not a thing.
Put a shovel on the ground and you already hit water.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. That's why they have those pits.
That's
The
why
pits that,
everybody
like,
in Florida is so salty. Oh no, I'm just kidding.
All right, so Dale, we're gonna try again. So go for it. See if you can
I think
answer.
he froze again.
Hopefully. Oh my god. I think it's Denver.
Okay, if you can hear me properly.
Yeah.
Did you lose me?
Oh no.
All the action figures are taking over his space.
I know, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mutiny.
Can you talk now, Andy? I'm not Andy. Sorry, Dale. I'm looking right at him too. That's a problem. And we also lost Campbell. What happened to Campbell?
Campbell's here. I don't want to have him call me if we're in the middle. Oh, Dale's gone. Okay, I'm gonna have. I'm telling Campbell to call me now. He said, "Okay." Everybody can hear these messages going through.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I'll be curious to see what he collects and then what recommendations or like advice that we could like give him.
Here we go.
Oh, is Dale coming
Hello.
in?
Campbell, can you hear us?
Did Tyler screen him?
Oh, wait, Campbell, can
Yeah, I
you
know,
hear
right?
us?
Yeah, it's working.
Oh, why does he
there
sound
you
like an
see.
adult, man? Jesus,
I know.
why is your voice so deep, Campbell?
He got old.
I don't know. I'm actually good talking one.
Oh, so we're sitting here talking with us old fogies and talking about collecting, but you like collecting stuff like Lego and Sonic stuff. Like, why do you like collecting these things? Like, why do we need to keep getting the new sets and stuff? Like, what do you love about the things that you collect, bud?
I think it's just because it's like it's always just fun to look at. Like even if it's just like sitting on the shelf, it's like it's all bright colored and everything else. It's all different every time, and it's just interesting to look at.
So, like, things you go for, are they more like, do you do what's your lane of collecting now? Like, we're all Star Wars buffs, and you know that. Like me and my buddies here, we all love Star Wars, and we meet around Star Wars, and we talk about Star Wars all the time. Like, what's the thing that gets you, and what's your collecting track nowadays?
Just like what item, like what?
Yeah, what stuff are you into? You're like, I wish I had that statue. I wish I had that action figure.
I wish I would have the budget for Hot Toys because those are awesome, but way too much.
Yeah, see, we're talking to my buddy Andy right now, and he's a big fan. That's his main collecting track here is the Hot Toys, the sideshow figs. So is there one of those sideshow figs or busts that you've seen out there that you're like, I need to have that?
I like the Cad Bane from Book of Boba Fett. I thought that was.
Oh, really? I didn't even see that one. Andy, do you know what he's talking about?
I think it was.
That's nice.
That's a nice one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, put it on
only a few months ago.
a Christmas list, and now your dad can get it for you.
Yeah, it's Christmas list.
Yeah, put it on a Christmas list.
So, when you think about collecting, bud, is there something in your head you like? Do you think like, if I get this now, this is going to be worth something, or do you just want these things because they look cool up on the shelves? Like we have your whole top of your dresser array thing here is just pretty much it's Lego Mario, and we don't have much more room. Oh, he's showing us
look at that
Cad Bane Hot Toys. Is he levitating on a stick, but he's got, what is that? Not Zero. What is it called? The droid. Toto. Yeah, Toto, the little droid with Cad Bane. That looks awesome.
Wasn't that voiced by Seth Green? Wasn't it?
Yes, it was. I will not let you get out of here. He will be very angry. But Campbell, what are the things that our kids are into nowadays? Like us old guys, we love Star Wars and He-Man and Halloween. I got Halloween behind me. Like, What's the thing that people are looking out for now?
Right now, like in my group, I think getting to like a nostalgia type era, and I think people are starting to buy stuff that they had when we were like 6 or 7. Like I
You
started,
hear that, Barry?
Buying.
Oh, sorry, I cut you off, son. I was making
No, you're all right.
a joke at Barry. You hear that? Rebuy the toys you had when you were younger.
Yeah.
Oh, I cut him off. So is there like what's out there that everybody's like dying to get nowadays? Is it just yeah, you tell us.
I think, like I was saying, I think it's right now it's just like in a nostalgia type thing where everyone's buying what they had. Like I said, like Legos, and how I started rebuying Skylanders.
Oh, Skylanders. Yeah, for some reason all of a sudden you wanted those. I was like, we had all of them. And then we sold them. Now you want them all back?
Yeah.
Yeah, we get to pay twice as much.
Well, you find them at yard sales now.
Yeah, no, you've done some yard sale digging and found some Skylanders for cheap.
Yeah.
So, is collecting a thing, or is it basically like I've seen with you, Campbell, where there's a website, guys, called like U2s, and they make like one-off figures of certain YouTubers or even a meme. They'll make a statue of it. And are you still in on that, Campbell?
Yeah, I got one on the way. I just got.
Oh, you got one on the way. Yeah, I wish I could show his collection.
This morning.
Yeah, he's got a bigger collection than I do. Even of even of the little stuff. I can't put anything out. So, for us old guys here and us collectors of many things, we have Star Wars collectors, we have Lord of the Rings, Willow, Ninja Turtles, He-Man, like everybody collectors. Is there one thing that you've wanted to know about, bud? I'm throwing you under the bus here.
I think, honestly, why is He-Man interesting at all? I never understood
it. Okay, kids say the darndest things.
All right, he's getting cut off. All right, Dale. No. All right, Dale. Dale, let him give it to him. Give it to him.
No, He-Man happened at a time, man, and now it's getting its repurposed it's getting its due diligence now on Netflix and the series like that. I was never a huge fan of it. I'm not speaking for Dale, but like myself,
let Dale talk.
Yeah, sorry. I was putting a buffer between my child and Dale.
I know you're wax poetic, and just let him defend himself.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, what got you, Dale?
Is he muted again?
Oh no!
Oh, he's frozen.
I keep freezing. Oh man!
In my youth.
Yes.
God. How about now?
Okay, we can hear you. In your youth.
All right. Okay, so in my youth, He-Man was and still is the most powerful man in the universe. There wasn't anything that had been portrayed like that before, either in toys, in animation, in comics. So it was a very unique character. Yes, there was like Conan the Barbarian, but that was for an older age group. This was something aimed at kids.
Tone.
So, yeah. So with a toy line, you got to make your own story. If you watch the animation, there was a moral at the end of every episode. So it's the kind of property like Star Wars that just you connect with, and it's with you for life.
Yeah, no, exactly. You get it, Campbell. You get it. When we all make fun of Roblox in 20 years. Hey.
No need for all that.
No need. Yeah. So, hey, Campbell, before we let you go and we can end our program here, what is your main collecting track now? I know you got a ton of Mario Lego. We have Pokemon statues and figures. Like, what's the thing? I mean, the U2s, like, what's your main mode of like, I want to get all these, or this is my jam?
Right now, what I want to start is the Godzilla NECA figures, like
those are
7-inch NECA figures.
Those are nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and those are easy to find too. Those NECA figures, you can get them for about what?
Well, they lost the rights to it.
Oh, did they?
Oh,
yeah, they're not making them anymore.
Oh, so now I got to get black market NECAs.
Yeah, I only got I got Shin Godzilla, but
I got to say that very slowly so everybody can hear what I'm saying. Black market NECAs.
I'm not a fan of Shin. Not a fan of the Shin Godzilla. Sorry.
Oh, come on, get out
of
here.
Dude,
dude, he looks like a burnt hot dog, okay?
No, get out of here.
He does. He looks like
a message. He's radioactive.
He's a mess. He's freaking
pulled
mess.
apart. His skin's falling off. He looks like his
You're telling me that. So you're saying that Shin Godzilla looks like a mess, and when you saw it, and the first Godzilla media of your life, you didn't look at that thing and be like,
"It's a mess."
Yeah, no, that's realistic. I believe that.
Yeah.
No, but that doesn't. But he didn't look like a burnt hot dog. That's all I gotta say. All right, we got issues right now. We're gonna throw down right here. Is that what your issue is? Yeah. You better hang up. You better hang up.
I'm stopping this. All right, Campbell. Thumbs up. I won't say the big words. We'll leave that for later. But thank you for joining us. Yeah, Dan loves you.
I love you.
You got a T-shirt coming your way that says Dan is awesome, so you got to wear it around me just to make me feel
all
bad.
the time. Yep.
Hey, I'd wear it.
Yeah. All right, dude. Well, thanks for your insight as the younger collector, and we'll have to get you back on with full video. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, man. Well, good night and get to sleep. You got school tomorrow.
Have a good night, Campbell.
Bye.
Peace out with that deep voice. See you, bud.
All right.
Oh, I got him out of there.
You just hung him right out of there. Okay.
No, you can still hear us.
All right. So just to wrap this up, you know?
Yeah, wrap it up.
So thank you very much, guys. We really appreciate you over here and just, talking about your collection and your, your personal preferences. That works out really well.
It's always fun talking to you guys and just talking toys.
Yeah.
Talking toys.
Oh,
Dale.
Oh, Dale.
Talking toys. Thanks for having me.
Yes.
Well, we'll have you again when your internet is better.
Yeah, I got to get you guys out of the basement, man.
Yeah, I know, right? All right. Well, everybody, have a good night.
All right, guys.
Yes.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Dale. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Campbell. Wherever you are,
Campbell.
You better be sleeping.
You better be sleeping.
You better be sleeping.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good night, everyone. I'm Dan.
Oh, we're doing it. And I'm Ian.
And we have questions.
We have questions.
Thanks for listening. If you have any questions or suggestions, write to us at danandianpod@gmail.com or search Dan and Ian Have Questions podcast on Facebook. Intro music provided by Ian Savage. Music produced and recorded by Sean Vanek at Mercenary Studios. Thanks again for listening and see you next time.